guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Bradford Save, where I have recently discovered that Angel Di Maria signed for Crystal Palace in the summer just gone. And for a player with those stats still at 32 years old, the fact they paid 13 million for him, I think that's still a bargain. I have no idea why he agreed to join Crystal Palace. PSG to Crystal Palace is quite a move. I can only assume he thought he was moving to an actual palace, considering the amount of money he's probably earned at PSG over the past 5-6 years, however long he's been there. PSG are still paying 84,000 of his wages though, so I guess that's something. Football Manager, man, though, you gotta love it sometimes, throwing you stuff like that. However, since we last met with the 1-0 loss to West Brom and 1-0 win against Preston, two very not particularly exciting games, we followed that with 3 wins on the bounce to Sunderland, Aston Villa and Middlesbrough. First time we've scalped a top 6 team, in fact, in those. In fact, both of those are top 6 teams, Aston Villa and Middlesbrough. And these games have sort of provided me with a bit of a dilemma, because the 2 goals in the Sunderland game were scored by Delcio, who is usually a off-the-bench option for covering the wing positions. Aston Villa then provided 2 goals for Saramago and another for Delcio. Of course, Saramago is sort of our second choice-ish striker when, well, he plays second fiddle to Ruiz when Ruiz is fit. And now Saramago started scoring again. He hasn't really been that prolific in front of goal. He's rated fairly well. I think he's developed fairly well, but he's not really scored the goals that we're looking for from a striker. Ruiz has done that in spades so far. I mean, he scored 8 goals. He's still our top scorer, even though he was injured. I think he might be back for today's games, though. So that plus Dalcio has put a spanner in the bit of the works, because obviously Tex has just come back. We've got Braze Lopez, who performed very well during Tex's absence. And we've obviously got the very high-paid Simon Kurt, who is rated well, but just doesn't really perform either. We have Josh Bowler, who's on loan from Everton and doesn't perform well either. And we've got the our young Matt Nichols for the right-hand side as well, who does put in sort of better shifts than either of those previous 2 mentions. So the wing positions are very much contested right now. And obviously Saramago staking a claim for the starting striker position is also awkward. And of course we followed up with a 4-2 win away at Middlesbrough because, yeah, okay, that happened. Very exciting game, naturally. We do have Derby next, who don't have boring games this year. So I'm really hoping we can continue this level of excitement with you guys, because this was intensely fun to watch. 2-0 up, pegged back to 2-2, and then 2 goals in the last 10 minutes. 4-2 win away from home at Middlesbrough, who've become somewhat of a personal rival. We've already played them twice this season. Once, obviously, at the very opening game, and then once in the Carabao, where we managed to just pip them out. So, with a late 1-0. So yes, Matthias Norman scoring that one, and I did bring Josh Bowler on for the starting role on this one. I think Dalcio was struggling for a little bit of fitness, or just took a knock, actually, in general. So I think Dalcio was removed from the situation for this, so I had to bring someone in on the left-hand side, and Brace Lopez wasn't available because I forgot to take him out of the under-18s, which meant I had to play Josh Bowler in his admittedly preferred winger left side role. I do wonder if his poor performances was for me trying to force him to play inside forward on the right, and he just wasn't really that good at it yet. Stuck him on the left in the winger role, scores 2 goals. So started Ruiz in that game. Ruiz is in fact back, yes, and he scored in that one. So, well, it's nice to have this level of confusion, really. You should really have a dedicated first 11 by now. It's about to tick into the new year again, and the competition for places is still, well, I say still, has re-emerged. The competition for places has suddenly just become a huge deal for me. And yeah, this is going to be interesting. Worth mentioning, immediately after the Preston game, Anthony O'Connor got injured, so that's why Kyrgios has been playing again. So defensively, we're a little bit bare bones because we were out without Garcia and without O'Connor for those games. I'm not sure if either of them are going to be back for these games today. But yeah, competition up front and limited places at the back. So starting 11 dilemmas. That's what we need with 2 games in 3 days. So realistically, I don't really feel the need to change my team up from the team that beat Middlesbrough 4-0 away from home. The situation is, of course, that Glovovic is still injured or got re-injured. I'm not sure he actually stayed uninjured long enough to make an appearance. But yeah, so Glovovic got re-injured, so Spencer's still in goal. Gibson, Grippo, Kieros, Medina. O'Connor is almost back at full fitness, but with 2 games in 3 days, I feel like it might be better for him to not play this one and maybe play the next one instead. So Grippo and Kieros in the middle there, Friero, Norman, Dominguez in the middle. They've been fairly solid. And I'm rather thankful we haven't actually taken an injury to any of those 3 so far. We've taken injuries to Jim O'Brien and Roster in the meantime. As you can see here, Roster is still returning back to fitness. So he's on the bench mostly because he's homegrown and I need that. And so when Roster's been injured, that's been a bit problematic in terms of the homegrown situation. I've tried to fix that. Tried to sign someone for January. Accidentally signed him for the summer. Good job, me. Bowler and Text on the wings because this winger rather than inside forward seems to be working better for us in this system. I know that in general inside forwards seem to be better in this game this year than wingers, but for the way we play and the way it's been going so far, I've switched to wingers and it seems to be working far better for us. 3 wins on the bounce, conceded twice, but that was in a 4-2 win, so can't really complain. We've added +7 to our goal difference in those 3 games with wingers rather than inside forward. So sticking with it, and Ruiz is obviously back to full fitness and will be playing up front. Of course, if we're playing Bowler, that means Everton get off my back as well. And if I can actually get performances out of Bowler, that means that's one loan signing that I can actually get something out of rather than just let him rot in the reserves, basically, which is nice. And yeah, well, 2-0, 3-0, 4-2. Derby don't have boring games. It's going to be 0-0, isn't it? So they line up with what looks to be a very compact 4-1-3-1-1 situation. Oh, they've got an Adrian up front as well, although that seems to be his only name. Ours has got 2. The greedy sod. Carry straight on. Oh. I mean, it's the same team. I told them just to literally carry straight on. That really... Anyway, they kick off, of course, in their natural... Both teams playing in their home colours, which is nice. First string kits on both sides there. Derby in the white, us in our maroon. No clashes at all. And we start here with a highlight on this left-hand side. I might need to zoom out just a smidge on this one because I can't see that side of the throw-ins. But Juan Dominguez in the middle here. Medina out on the right, chasing after that. There, number 44 running after him. That pings off Pinnock in the middle. Ruiz is free in the middle, and he makes it his 10th goal of the season. Double figures for Ruiz. It's not even January. This is why we brought him in. Had a bit of a slow start, but he appears to have acclimatised now. Of course, young players do take a little bit longer in general, usually to get up to speed. But this doesn't actually ping off Pinnock. He does actually head it out to Dominguez, who finds Ruiz in plenty of space just beyond the penalty spot, and pings that past Scott Carson, I believe that is, in their goal. And we move up to 3rd with this. Sorry, I did forget to mention that in the beginning. Aston Villa 3-0 already up and ready, but I did forget to mention that at the beginning. We are, with those 3 wins, well into the playoff spots. Cardiff still 8 points clear of 2nd place, which is now Leeds, I believe. So an interesting fight in 2nd and 3rd right now between Leeds and Bradford, I guess. Yorkshire rivalry going on there. Or it might actually end up being a 2nd automatic place. And the rest of this half is just vanished. I mean, I'll take that, to be honest. Not an entertaining game. The players appear to be in very good spirits, immediately falling quiet and looking up with admiration. Nice. I'm being admired, apparently, now. Please guard against complacency. We know how these derby matches go. I mean, literal derby matches, not... You know what I mean? Although it appears like Leeds are losing their game at the moment because they have been usurped by Nottingham Forest. It's good for fans of people who support teams in the middle of the country right now. And Grippo is over this free kick. We know he can score them. He has done so far already. I think that's gone to a over-the-line query. Yes, it has. I probably ought to turn these off, to be honest. They're getting a little annoying now. Because they're never over the line. I don't see the point of showing us that. Aston Villa made it 4. And Reading are a man down. So that's going to be a rout, isn't it? Oh, Cardiff are now winning, so that puts them 10 points clear out of the top. Again, they have lost another game, weirdly to Portsmouth, who are in the relegation spots because anyone can beat anyone. Bowler running down this left-hand side finds Tex beautifully. Oh man. I don't have words for that. All credit should go to Bowler for the assist. Yeah, sticking him on the wing on the left seems to have unlocked his skill. I mean, that one literally pings off their player instead. But This is a beautiful cross. And Tex with his headed goal there. Not really known for his headers, to be honest, Tex. But we'll absolutely take that. And that appears to be the only highlight for this half so far, so we might as well just preserve Ferreira here. I think what I'm going to do is, because I know Ross is a little bit injured still, I'm just going to shift the pack a bit just to make that so I don't have to bring him on necessarily. He's good for 45 minutes apparently, but there's only 20 to go. But no need to bring him on if I don't have to. O'Brien can do Mazzala perfectly, and Norman can do deep line playmaker absolutely fine there. Otherwise, there's not really anyone I need to take off. Now, of course, fitness is the thing I need to be aware of, because obviously a game in 2 days, probably need to keep some of these people as fresh as possible. So I'm going to take Gibson off of Manny because that's an easy one, and Gibson gets the most tired usually. And yeah, I'll just confirm those two for now, and if I need to make a change in the last 10, I can. But they've not had a shot this second half. And for a team that doesn't have boring matches, we've not had any highlights. So I am just going to keep Bowler a little bit fresh, bring Nichols on. Switch Tex over because we know he can go on the left. That's where he normally plays. Oh, Derby have had a shot. Bryson nabs that. But we get that back with Gripper at the back. Of course, I don't think that was a header down, but he is invincible in the air, Gripper, really. 6'6" and 16 heading or something like that. Medina. Nichols is on the ball now. Our young prospect here. Dominguez running forward with this. We'll be able to find Tex on that side again. Beautiful pass to Tex, and Tex gets 2 goals in this game. Our wingers are running rampant lately. 3 for Dalsir in 2 games. 2 for Bowler, now 2 for Tex. This is what I like to see. I think switching them up to attack has helped as well, rather than just support. That would have been a very dangerous slide tackle if he'd actually caught Dominguez. I wouldn't imagine number 4 there would have stayed on the pitch with that sliding tackle from behind if he'd failed, or if he'd actually connected at all, really. But 2 goals for Tex. This is the last 10 seconds of the game. We cannot really presume there to be anything to happen here, but who knows? In general, Tex can get that out to that side there. Do get a free kick. I don't know if he's going to call time or if we're actually going to be able to take this free kick or not. We are. Grippo will go on to this, I believe. Yep. And why? What? At least let us take the free kick. That could have helped our goal difference if it had gone in. Ah, yes, that's what happened. Globovic was back for the 4-2 against Middlesbrough. So that doesn't mean Carwyn Spencer, who wasn't in the goal for that game, has now played 412 consecutive minutes without conceding. I'm very pleased with the result and the performance. I kind of want to go with the complacency one, but 3-0, can't really complain about that. Right, we'll make sure everyone's all rested up as much as possible for this Wigan match. Yeah, we dominated that in the end. I love this question. I think we're in 3rd or 4th right now. The bookies tipped you for relegation at the start of the season. What do you think your chances now? I think we could stay up. Ah, and yes, they've asked this question in the conference. I might as well talk about this now. Yes, we managed to get Tex for another 3 years, and without a release clause as well, which is most important. The good news, we got Tex for 3 more years without any worries. He's now on £4,000 a year, which is still not our highest earner by any means at all. So pretty chuffed with that, to be honest. I think he's basically doubled his wage, but even so. Ah, yes, and another one of our key players has signed for us a little bit longer. New contract for Anthony O'Connor, £6,000 a week, one of the higher earners. But 6 and 7 puts him in that sort of top bracket of our players right now. We still have a very poor wage structure, really, to be honest. Not a lot of wages to go around still, sadly. So we find ourselves 2 points away from the automatic second spot right now. Nottingham Forest in 2nd with 49, Leeds in 3rd with 48, us in 4th with 47. So if we can keep this going against 20th placed Wigan, who are always up for a shock result. But of course now we have a double-digit striker, which is something we've not really had. I mean, they've reached double digits by the end of the season, but I mean, Doyle was never this prolific. Saramango was not this prolific either last year. I mean, he's on 4 goals and he's not played as many games. So that might be something to do with it. I kind of do want to go back to a 2-striker system at some point, but at the same time, I can't really drop any of our middle 3. I think if we had an injury to the midfield, then I would definitely move to a 2-striker system for the time being, because we don't really have the quality in depth there. We've got enough quality off the bench, but in terms of starting, wouldn't really. I would rather have Salmaga on than, say, Jim and Brian or Rossiter. So I don't really see much reason to change things up in the midfield pack right now. They're on 91% fitness, so they're still just good for this. Now they've literally just come off another game. I don't really see much need to change things up from the off. Now, Globovic is back fit entirely and is better than Spencer, so I think that's the only change I will just make now. So yeah, Gibson, Grippo, Queiroz, Medina, Ferreira, Norman, Dominguez, Bowler, Tex, and Ruiz up front. Globovic in goal because he is back fit and is still better than Carwyn Spencer. Despite the fact that Carwyn Spencer's not conceded in 4 games, it's caused a little bit of problem, but technically Globovic is better. Ah, it didn't work. We'll go passion away from home. Assertion at home, passion away seems to do the trick, keeps things fresh, and prevents any tiredness of saying the same thing over and over again. Now then, we are in our away kit for this one for some reason, despite the fact our home kit does not clash in any way, shape or form, and I would potentially argue that black and blue are more similar. I do not understand the system for that. However, their fullbacks are looking atrocious, as is their front bit. We are far better overall in general fitness-wise. I did give the boys the day off entirely in between this and obviously the last game, but Ferreira on the ball here, way deep, just sits there and I mean their number 9 could have come and pressed him a little bit there and did absolutely nothing. Exciting game. West Brom already, 3 goals in 20 minutes so far. And the fact it's been that exciting over there, their goals are coming in backwards on the alert feed there. But Tex is on this right side, managed to ping that into Ruiz, who makes 11 goals for the season now. Capitalises on that deflection before any of their defenders can react. God love Ruiz, he seems to have that instinct for goal, which is what I like. It's not really a stat they have on the thing, instinct, I guess, but watch this there. As it pings off 19, he's the first to react and smashes it past their goalie on the near side. 11 goals for Ruiz. Tex and Ruiz is a dangerous combination, and we do actually move up to second with the other 2 teams drawing right now. It is worth mentioning, of course, that a few of our players that we signed in the first season I did have to promise playoffs next year at the latest. So if we can get the playoffs at the very least, that qualifies their promises. In fact, Leeds are playing Cardiff right now, I've just realised. So that is first v third. West Brom Portsmouth is 5-1 at half-time. What is happening there? But a reasonably evenish game so far. We're just getting the better shots on target. Go with the pundits one because I don't want to do complacency all the time. I feel like saying complacent every time I'm going to give a team talk to Ruiz there because he's already motivated. But yes, that moves both us and Forest onto 50 points, and evidently we have a better goal difference right now. We're actually one of the sides that have conceded the least goals so far. I thought it might have been a goal from the kickoff there for a second. But it does go out for a throw-in, and I imagine this kickoff highlight ends here. Yeah, it does. Yeah, well, I think we are the 4th lowest conceders in the league so far. Might be even better now, with obviously not conceding last game. And so far this game, touch wood. But Dominguez in the middle with Ferreira. Tex managed to get to that, I think. Yeah, Tex does manage to head that on, but it doesn't go anywhere. Saunders, Bennett, they're passing around their defence right now. Ripley, who could make a mistake here. Nope. That player on the right then there, Sinan Gooms, I think his surname is, was a player I had my eye on for a while and didn't manage to get hold of him. I think he's one of these wonder kids that have been arrived. I think he might have been one of the first new gens or just a young player with good talent in the first place. I had my eye on him at the start, just didn't manage to get him. His wage demands were way too high. So Wigan managed to get him, of course, because Briggs scores. Assist by the player that I wanted to sign. Great. But 1-1. Which allows Aston Villa to capitalise right now. But yes, Jacobs on this side managed to swing it out over there. And let's watch our player who I coveted for a little while. Give it to Will Grigg, who is always coveted because Will Grigg is always on fire. But they are tired, far more tired than we are. I've just decided to press their fullbacks that little bit because they are absolutely knackered, their fullbacks. So if I can get them to make a mistake or just obviously their tired legs, chase them off the ball. But Sinan here, who could potentially make this even worse for us, and does, by giving to Greg outside the box. We're not having the most of this, but I am going to go positive on this and maybe bring a 2-striker system on. I mean, let's watch this because it is a fairly decent goal, let's be honest. It's outside the box and we should have done better there. I shouldn't have mentioned the fact we hadn't conceded that much. That ruined everything. But yeah, Dominguez isn't having the best of games, so I'm going to bring Saramago on for Dominguez. And I'm going to do this. It's slightly weird, but Ferreira likes being slightly further back, so yeah, alright then. No one else having an absolutely poor game. A couple of the defenders not the best right now, but that's probably more because we've conceded twice and they've let them do that. But Grippo over this free kick, which goes in. You actually get to see our central defender, Simone Grippo, do that. We do play for set pieces, and this is why. Beautiful free kick. Low in the corner. That is so cheeky, and he doesn't even really celebrate. He's just like, yeah, I did that. Now it's probably time to freshen up a little bit of fitness right now. Gibson is tired, but I had to replace Manny on the bench for Chad Lamb because of homegrown situations. So Staunton can sort of do that a little bit. And Ferreira is very tired, so let's swap him and Norman over and bring on Jim for these last 13 minutes. And let's just get that sorted. So we are still going positive here. I do want to get 3 points, to be honest. 20th place Wigan. I mean, in the last 10 minutes, getting a draw is probably useful, and I might switch it off positive if this doesn't go in, regardless of what goes on here, really. If we concede here, then I'm staying on positive because I want to get the draw. If we don't, then I'll probably switch it to balanced. If we score, I'll switch it to cautious. That's how this is going to work. Just so you know all the options up front. I'm basically just rambling while this goes absolutely nowhere for about 30 seconds of highlight. And hopefully this now actually is something developing here. Ruiz is free and hits the post, but the rebound... Was he offside? Why did they get a free kick? Just switch to balance for these last 5. I don't really want to lose the point we already have. But Texas on this side, a lot of freeness there. Sessignon just close enough for now. There's a corner to us. I'd rather go undefeated. Norman taking this to Bowler on the edge of the box. Plenty of space for him to... I thought that had gone in. I thought that had gone in for a second there. But he tips that over. I think this was the original one with Tex. Don't know why showing us that now. The last 5. I mean, why have they not made any substitute? Now they have, finally. Yeah, so injury time has ticked away entirely. 2-2. After we went so positive, we got the grip of that match in the end, but I don't know what they were doing. They took him to get to 59% before they took Sessignon off there. Ridiculous. What is their manager doing? You can play his flesh. I wonder you're 20th. Unlucky? To be honest, I feel like anything I say is going to tip that into red rather than green. So I'll leave that as is, as very unspectacular. So, as the table stands going into January, you can see it on the right-hand side there. There's no game on New Year's Day this year for some reason. Not sure what's going on there. It's not till the 3rd and it's an FA Cup match. So, this is how the table stands going into the new year. Bottom 3, Preston, Portsmouth and Sunderland there. Preston managed to get themselves off the bottom. Sunderland dropped right down to the foot of the table. Norwich still somewhat perilous. Derby not that much further ahead, to be honest. But there's sort of a pack of 5 teams here, all within 1 win. Well, basically 1 loss away from Portsmouth usurping them. Maybe. I mean, they do have minus 25 goal difference. What on earth has happened there? They must have been on the end of some heavy losses. But as you can see here, our goal difference is 15, Leeds 21, Aston Villa 25. They've put some thumping wins. Ended up 6-0 against Reading last game, by the way. Not sure if you saw that. Cardiff on 31, but Nottingham Forest only on 13, so they are one that we can nab with a good goal difference here. So, we don't really draw matches, so that was only our 3rd draw this season against Derby and Reading the other 2. So yeah, that was our first draw since the 26th of September. Since then, we only have ever won or lost games. And of course, the last 5 before that were all wins, so 6-game unbeaten streak going into the home games against Sheffield Wednesday and QPR in January. Of course, Fulham in the third round of the FA Cup. If that had been the top 6, I would have brought you that, but it happened to be Fulham. Of course, we played last year in the Championship. Another re-promotion for them. So, not going to show you that one. Obviously, I'll tell you how it goes when we meet probably a little bit further gap than what we've had in recent games. I'll probably just play through the entirety of January, get through that transfer window entirely, and then bring you back for an update against. We've already seen Bolton this season, so I think I'll actually probably bring you back for Millwall and Reading instead, just two teams you haven't seen so far. I don't think. Just because we've already played Bolton this season and last season as well. I forgot when I played showed you the Ipswich and Bolton games earlier this season that we actually played Bolton on the last game of last season as well. So Bolton we've seen far too often too recently. Obviously, these three teams you've seen as well in recent times. So Millwall and Reading, I think, will be the games that I bring you back for after the January transfer window. That leaves us a perfect gap for Leeds and Sheffield actually as well for the following one after that. So I'll join you for a transfer special as well, let's not forget, next time round. Until then, thank you for watching. Ta-ra.